All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel now. We are back on the Grunge channel, and we got the untold truth of Schoolhouse Rock. I'm familiar with the name Schoolhouse Rock, but I don't think I've ever watched anything. So we're going to check this out. Appreciate all the love and support with you guys coming over. If you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead, like, share, comment, and subscribe, man. Appreciate all of it. All right. Shout out to all the good humans, man. I'll leave the Grunge channel in the description. So we ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
Whether it was teaching kids how a bill becomes a law or showing them how to properly use a conjunction, Schoolhouse Rock was always a welcome presence in any classroom. But how did a series of educational songs turn into a nationwide phenomenon? In the early 1970s, David McCall, president of the McCaffrey and McCall Advertising Agency, took his family on a vacation to a Wyoming dude ranch. During the trip, he observed that his son Davey seemed to have an encyclopedic knowledge of the lyrics of his favorite rock bands, like the Rolling Stones. To the elder McCall, this skill conflicted with his son's inability to memorize his multiplication tables at school. That experience planted an idea in McCall's head. Kids might remember fundamental educational concepts if they're presented as rock and pop song lyrics. Initially, McCall focused on making an album of educational songs, specifically songs about math. In need of original music, McCall asked one of the advertising agency's jingle writers to write a song that was essentially multiplication tables set to music. He didn't like what he ended up getting back, as he felt it sounded too much like a cloying commercial jingle. Something had to change. Unhappy with what the staff jingle writer created for his idea, David McCall sought out an outside songwriter. His colleague, art director and musician George Newell, knew a jazz bassist named Ben Tucker, who in turn recommended his collaborator Bob Dorough. As Dorough told NPR's Fresh Air, he said, "My partner, Bob Dorough, can do anything. He can put music to anything." McCall told Dorough that he wanted a song about multiplication tables, as that was what his son was struggling with at the time. Apparently, Dorough got the job because he was the only composer whose audition song...
Man, I used to love math as a kid. Oh, used to love answering questions, and they give you candy and stuff. But this is actually pretty cool, man. Like, I know they kind of still do that now. You know, when I think of music and learning, and my mind goes right to Reading Rainbow.
Took the rock part of Schoolhouse Rock seriously. As he put it, I learned later that he had invited other Broadway songwriters to do this task, and they came up with a more simple, doggerel type of songwriting, writing down, as it were, to children. It took Dorough 3 weeks to write 3 is a Magic Number. To get the lyrics and themes right, he researched math, magic, and even the occult, and it paid off.
I never really thought it'd be this big, you know.
From the beginning, the team behind Schoolhouse Rock took the educational element of the project very seriously. They wanted to make sure that they not only delivered accurate information, but that they delivered it in a manner deemed suitable and effective. Show developer David McCall served on the board of directors of Bank Street College of Education. To see if Schoolhouse Rock was viable, he asked the school to play the demo recording of 3 is a Magic Number to kids in schools in New York City and the surrounding suburbs. Bank Street College representatives successfully used the song to introduce the idea of multiplication tables to students, as well as reinforce existing concepts. With the certification of a legitimate educational organization secured, Schoolhouse Rock production continued. A Bank Street College representative would continue to consult on the series for years, with an educational expert there taking about a week to sign off on the lyrics of each short before recording could occur. Schoolhouse Rock is an evocative title, and the cartoons that carried its name in the 1970s and 1980s became part of a recognized brand in educational television. Despite its clever reference to a 1957 Elvis song, Schoolhouse Rock wasn't what the show was originally called during development. Before its debut on the ABC Saturday morning schedule, producers operated the project under a title that strongly connoted both an instructional element and a musical bent: Scholastic Rock. However, a long-established company with a similar name wasn't too happy to hear about this. Scholastic, a publisher of educational and entertainment books for children, operator of school book fairs, and printer of an educational magazine, had been operational in some form since the 1920s, and their lawyers ordered that the show find a new name. Looking to avoid a lawsuit, the TV contingent decided on the name Schoolhouse Rock instead. The music publishing side of the endeavor, however, was allowed to retain the name Scholastic Rock.
Scholastic.
Bolstered by Bob Duroux's 3 is a Magic Number, the McCaffrey and McCall team set out to get their educational song project out to the world. But they weren't originally going to do it via television. Instead, David McCall envisioned the project as an album packaged with a book. However, McCall and McCaffrey ran into issues when they couldn't get any traction with publishers for the initial book and record deal, which they pitched under the name Multiplication Rock. The approach changed completely when someone at the advertising agency noticed that one of its clients was ABC. After that, the art department drew up a series of animation storyboards synchronized with Duroux's recording of 3 is a Magic Number. They then presented it to Michael Eisner, future president of the Walt Disney Company, who was vice president for children's programming at ABC at the time. Eisner brought along accomplished animation director Chuck Jones to the meeting, the creative force behind Warner Brothers' Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote cartoons, and director of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Jones was presently in charge of a Saturday morning anthology called Curiosity Shop. Jones enjoyed the presentation and recommended that Eisner buy Multiplication Rock for use in his series. The first ever Schoolhouse Rock segment aired on Curiosity Shop nearly 2 years before it became a standalone segment on ABC's Saturday morning lineup. 2 of the best-known songs to ever air as part of Schoolhouse Rock demonstrate the breadth and ambition of the entire series. Conjunction Junction is a funky folk number that uses train imagery to explain how and, but, and or connect words and phrases and clauses, while I'm Just a Bill is a soul-tinged song that explains how a bill becomes a law in the USA. They're very different songs, but they were recorded with the same personnel. Handling lead vocals on Conjunction Junction was Jack Sheldon, an accomplished jazz singer. He was also a trumpet player, and he contributed his skills alongside other prolific Los Angeles session musicians Leroy Vinegar, Stuart Scharf, Teddy Edwards, Nick Ciroli, and Dave Frischberg. The same band also worked on I'm Just a Bill. Even though it was released 2 years after Conjunction Junction, they recorded on the same day during the same session, with Jack Sheldon singing lead on that one as well. Conjunction Junction may be the most famous of the Grammar Rock collection of shorts, but Interjections isn't far behind. This catchy tune was made to educate viewers on the proper usage of outbursts. From well to oh to hey, it has plenty of interjection examples to share. And naturally, it ends with one too.
Darn, that's the end.
That line was said by Lauren Yohe, a
Charlie
common
Brown.
presence in Schoolhouse Rock cartoons. Her father, Tom Yohe, was the lead designer of Schoolhouse Rock, and Lauren was 6 years old at the time of recording. That wasn't the only time that a Schoolhouse Rock employee utilized their child for authentic young voices. The 1977 America Rock segment, Fireworks, features producer Radford Stone's 10-year-old daughter Charlotte and 12-year-old son Ian. In I'm Just a Bill, musician Jack Sheldon portrays the walking, talking Bill, who explains the lawmaking process to a boy, portrayed by his son John. Considering that it was made to teach relatively simple concepts, Schoolhouse Rock was geared toward an audience of elementary school-age viewers. Because of this, the makers of Schoolhouse Rock tried their best to stick to squeaky clean, all ages appropriate material. That was why producers had difficulty getting one particular episode onto the air. The 1973 segment, Naughty Number 9, taught kids all the unique quirks of the number 9. It prominently featured a cat, also named Naughty Number 9, hanging out in a pool hall, puffing on a cigar, and forming math problems with the smoke. Because of its depiction of pervasive smoking, ABC's broadcast standards and practices nearly wouldn't allow Naughty Number 9 to air in its original form. However, Schoolhouse Rock producers persuaded the censors against ordering edits, arguing that the smoking helped characterize Naughty Number 9 as a villain. Another Schoolhouse Rock cartoon was temporarily and preemptively banned. Completed in the mid-1970s, Three Ring Government explains the 3 branches of the U.S. government as a kid dreams that each is part of a trilogy of circus acts. ABC
You know, it's funny. This looked like something Pink Floyd would have made. And I had this on my mind. I was trying not to stop the video. I was just trying to get through it and then talk at the end. But I don't know why that cat seemed familiar. I don't know if they're going to mention in here, like, when the show stopped. But how often did you guys used to watch this every time it would come on? Please comment below.
didn't air the piece until 1979. Co-creator George Newell explained why to Noble Mania, saying, "It was because of their fear that the FCC and Congress would resent being compared to a circus and threaten their broadcast license renewal." David McCall led the creation of Schoolhouse Rock based on the idea that catchy pop rock could be used to teach educational concepts to kids. As a testament to the effectiveness of the method and Schoolhouse Rock's songwriters' unique execution of the concept, several of the episodes have been used to educate adults. I'm Just a Bill provides a step-by-step lesson in how a proposed bill becomes a congressionally approved codified law. Starting in the mid-1970s and for many years after, the offices of congresspeople would call Schoolhouse Rock production facilities to request tapes of I'm Just a Bill to share with their staffers so they'd understand their jobs better.
Listen to those congressmen arguing. Is all that discussion and debate about you?
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. Most bills never even get this far.
Schoolhouse Rock also helped educate many doctors and other medical professionals. Multiple medical schools worked with Schoolhouse Rock producers to use the 1979 anatomy-based clip Telegraph Line to explain how the nervous system functions to first-year medical school students. Not every song prepared for inclusion in the Schoolhouse Rock series made it to air. Some didn't even get much past the songwriting stage and into animation, and when that happened, there was usually good reason. The Grammar Rock segment, Verb, That's What's Happening, was a replacement for another song about verbs, the part of speech that describes what action is taking place. Veteran Schoolhouse Rock composer and lyricist Bob Dorough came up with a song that had a lot of action in it, as that would translate well into the cartoon medium. Producers had originally intended to animate a cartoon that writer Dave Frischberg called A World Without Verbs, but they ran into a pretty big issue. What would a world without verbs look like, anyway? Nothing would actually happen, and that made for some rather boring animation. In the end, A World Without Verbs never received a full production. In the early 1990s, nostalgia-fueled renewed interest in Schoolhouse Rock led to a new appreciation for the educational cartoon collection and other forms of mainstream media. Schoolhouse Rock Live debuted at the Cabaret Voltaire in Chicago in August 1993 and enjoyed an 8-month run to sold-out crowds. The creators built a self-aware narrative around the assorted Schoolhouse Rock shorts, with a plot concerning a nervous rookie teacher. In the show, the teacher gains the confidence he needs when the characters from the educational TV show emerge from his mind and his TV to perform the iconic songs that made them famous. A shorter version designed for school theater departments is frequently performed around the U.S. In 1996, Atlantic Records subsidiary Lava Records collected some of the era's major alternative rock bands and rappers to contribute to the tribute album Schoolhouse Rock Rocks. Pavement recorded No More Kings, Blind Melon took on 3 Is a Magic Number, and Skee-Lo did The Tale of Mr. Morton. After a 12-year run with multiple weekly airings on ABC's Saturday morning lineup, Schoolhouse Rock ended its original broadcast run in 1985. Unlike most TV series that run for longer than a decade, it seemingly didn't leave enough of a cultural footprint to merit preservation. Many of the elements of the Schoolhouse Rock cartoons disappeared or were destroyed. Producers allowed the animation cells to be discarded, while they lost track of the arrangements for the music. The master audio tapes, recorded in 24-track format, went missing before being discovered later in a Connecticut barn. Nostalgia is what ended up saving Schoolhouse Rock from complete obscurity. In early 1990, organizers of a symposium on education at Dartmouth College invited the producers and writers of the show to attend. Around 900 students showed up, and they were all acutely familiar with Schoolhouse Rock songs. That followed a petitioning drive at college campuses, beginning at the University of Connecticut, urging ABC to revive Schoolhouse Rock in some way. In 1994, the series indeed made a comeback on ABC with a new slate of episodes teaching financial literacy called Money Rock.
I balanced my budget.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, man, that cat really looked familiar. Because I remember I used to always watch cartoons. Always. Just so many of them. That's pretty cool, though. I mean, like I said, they got so much stuff that's going on right now. But I know that had to be cool, like, if you're around one of the first ones to do it, where you're, adding song with learning, and that got to be cool, because it's like, as a kid, it's like your eyes, it's gonna draw your attention in. What? Cause I mean, even the guys say he didn't expect it to take off like it did. That's got to be one of the greatest feelings. All right, man. I hope you guys are commenting down below. Appreciate y'all coming over and watching. I feel like do they have like DVDs of this? Y'all got collections of this? I'm pretty sure some of y'all do. All right, man. Peace out. Thanks for watching.